Welcome to another episode of, well, it's an episode. It's not an episode. Why did I even say that? Welcome to another hangout with an amazing creator. This is Vyyyper. Here on this channel, we like to talk about all things live streaming.
So why did I even say that?
Welcome to another hangout with an amazing creator. This is Vyyyper. And I've got audio coming through on the back end for me. Was that you, Vyyyper, or was that me?
That was me. My bad.
Okay, no, that's okay. That's all good. That's all good. I just thought, oh no, I haven't clicked all the things. Because I'm like, oh, I have a checklist of all the things I do and then just don't look at it. So Vyyyper talks about, Vyyyper has a few different channels, don't you, Vyyyper?
Yeah, no, right now I got two.
You got two? You got two? So for those of us in the chat or watching the replay that don't know who you are, can you give us a little rundown on who you are, what you do, you know, the world according to Vyyyper?
Sure, I can do this. So, what's up, people? This your boy Vyyyper, the man about tech. I am also an executive producer over at VIDIQ, which is a YouTube education company. I make tech content. I've been doing that for 4 years on YouTube. I started working with VIDIQ in September of last year. I host their Tube Talk podcast. I do channel audits on our live YouTube channel with VIDIQ, and I like talking about YouTube. I like talking about tech and content creation, and that's generally what I do.
Wow, that really just like went from 0 to 500. Like that energy level was amazing. You do so many different things. Like, you know, when people are first starting out their YouTube journey, it's like niche down to one thing, have one thing, just do one thing. Did you start that way, or did you just jump in with 14 different things straight up?
Yeah, I think when I first started out 4 years ago, I was trying to do like a little bit of everything as far as tech goes. But then I think 2 years in, I decided to kind of niche down to try to grow because, you know, the whole advice on YouTube is if you want to grow a channel, you need to pull into a certain niche and then grow that niche. So I tried to do that, making primarily Apple content from 2019 on. And then this year I just started over and made a brand new channel. So that is where I'm at right now.
So on your new channel, is it Apple only, or have you broadened it out a little?
I have broadened it out a little. I do Apple content, but I also do other content like covering Samsung and different things happening in tech. So it's slightly more broad on the new channel.
Yeah, because one of the things I like about your videos is when you talk about a piece of tech, you're not just running through the spec list. You're actually, you go out and use that piece of tech. Like you've just got a whole pile of new headphones, or two, not a whole pile, 2 new sets of headphones. And like there's photos of you wearing them at the gym. There's, you're running these things through their paces. They're not just sitting like on a precious little stand next to your laptop. These things are they're being used hard.
It would do nobody no good if I just read off a spec sheet and called it a review. No. Your boy Vyyyper actually using the tech because I want to let you know how the tech will actually work for you in your real life. It makes no benefit to anybody if I'm just reading off a spec sheet that you can go to the manufacturer website and read by yourself. Why would I do that? Vyyyper would not do that. Vyyyper uses the tech, okay? So I can tell you how the tech will work for you in your real everyday life, and that is what a tech reviewer is supposed to do.
See, I agree with that. But there's actually a surprising number of tech reviewers. Like it's different if it's an unboxing, right? So just for those that are watching, an unboxing is totally different. It's talking about packaging, it's talking about specs, because in an unboxing, you haven't had the opportunity to use it. But if you're doing a review, you need to have used it for some time. So yeah, I love that you do that. I love, and I do love that you just like totally run things through their paces until they're nearly dead. And I think it's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, again, that's the way it should be. Like, I mean, if I don't know the in and out of the tech that I'm talking about, then why do I have a tech channel in the first place? I mean, the people that watch my channel are genuinely passionate about technology. They want to know how a piece of tech works in, out, side to side, front, back, disco ball, doogie, whatever you want to do about it. They want to know how that tech works. So that is my job as a tech reviewer, to examine every facet of a piece of technology so I can relay that to you. Now, obviously, video can't be like all day. So there are going to be things that I miss or things that other tech reviewers miss. And that's why I always say that you should watch multiple creators when you're doing research about a particular product, because there are going to be things that Vyyyper covers that somebody else won't cover, or there'll be things that somebody else will cover, but Vyyyper won't. So that's why you should watch multiple creators about a piece of tech before you make that final purchasing decision.
Yeah. And then come back and use Vyyyper's link.
Right.
Yeah. It's like, okay, glean from everybody, then come back to Vyyyper and use his link. Vyyyper, you've got a dedicated live streaming channel. So you originally had the Vyyyper Channel, which due to was like YouTube was restricting things. Is that right? Like I've gleaned stuff and I don't know how much I've gotten right.
Yeah, there was some type of algorithmic anomaly happening with that channel where it was really stunting my growth. So I decided this year to start all over and make a brand new channel.
Yeah. And how are you finding that that's working?
Yeah, the brand new channel is going a lot more smooth and more as expected than the old channel was. So I'm enjoying it.
Oh, that's awesome. So, so you'd worked on your old channel for 3 years, decided to like just sort of abandon ship and start fresh. What were some of the changes that you made when you was there anything in particular that you changed or didn't do or did do on the new channel that you were doing on the old?
Well, it's funny that you should ask that because when you're starting a new channel 3 years into it, you have a lot more knowledge starting over than what you did when you first started out. So I took all of the knowledge that I had accumulated over my 3 years of doing content and I applied all of that to the new channel. So the way I do intros, outros, how I analyze my retention graphs and the analytics, how I analyze analytics in their totality. So I was able to take a lot of knowledge out there and just use it to make the new channel better than the old channel ever could be. So that is what I've been doing so far.
Wow. So you didn't change your content or change how you spoke or anything like the words that you used. No. You just utilized your skills. Sort of like I'm doing that here a little bit. I have my other channel, which is my yarn crafting channel, which I've had since 2016. Made all the mistakes over there. and now trying to, I'm doing something different here and it's totally different. Like it's a total different audience. But you realize you come in with actual knowledge and it does translate to a new channel.
Yeah. There's no reason why you can't take the skills that you've accumulated as a creator over time and apply them to a new channel.
Yeah, absolutely. And to not be afraid to do it, because it is a bit daunting, like jumping from one channel to another, because you're like, okay, so I've already hit this collection of milestones on this channel. So when I start over here, I'm going to have to, start at zero again. And I found that for me, that really, because things had changed a lot between when I started the channel in 2016 versus when I started my channel late last year. Things are totally different, like how to start it and the different hoops that you've got to jump through. And I was actually like, okay, so I didn't know that some of these things had changed quite so much. Did you find any massive differences between just the sort of logistics of starting a new channel?
A couple. I think if to get initially verified, Google wants you to make a 60-second video with your face in it, so they can know that you are who you are. But other than that, I didn't find too many differences in starting a new channel per se. I mean, obviously, when you go into the Creator Studio settings and you check all the back settings of the channel, there are some different things going on back there with COPA and everything else that happened in the past with that stuff. So you got to make sure that your content is not made for kids and all that good stuff. But most of all, I mean, it's still the same process to start a channel that it was 4 years ago. Yeah.
Okay. So you made the decision a little while ago, not recently, to separate your live streams from your main channel. Mm-hmm. What was the decision process for that?
Well, back when I started live streaming 3 years ago, I was noticing that the way I was doing live streams, it was completely tanking the analytics on the channel because the live streams were vastly different from the regular videos that I was doing. My live streams would go anywhere from 4 to 8 hours, and a lot of times they were not about tech per se. They were just general random conversation. Well, when you have 4 to 8 hour live streams on a regular basis that are not about tech, it completely just killed my analytics. So I noticed that, and other creators noticed that the live streaming in general was kind of killing analytics for your videos that were non-live streams. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to make the decision to put the live streams on their own channel. That way I can do whatever I want, not to worry about analytics being messed up. And I'll just leave this channel here just for tech content only. And then we can go from there.
Okay. And after you did that, did you find that things started balancing back out on your channel again? Like the not live streaming channel?
A little bit, but by that point, the channel was so in the hole that no matter what I did, there was really no coming back from it. So I'm like, you know what? It's time to start over.
Start again. Starting fresh is not a bad thing.
No.
So you've got you've got your 2 channels that you're uploading to. You've still got your old channel. The content's still there. Did you transfer any of the content over to your new channel, or did you just literally start with a blank slate?
Started with a blank slate.
Yeah. Yeah. And when you go live, because obviously I'm going to be a bit live focused because of, this channel is all about live streaming, and the people who watch tend to be interested in live streaming, or you, the guest, like, your people will watch. What is sort of like you say that, like, you go live for 4 to 6 hours usually.
Used to, not anymore.
Oh, used to, not anymore. Okay, so what do you do now?
Now typically my live streams go anywhere from like an hour to 2, maybe 3. But yeah, usually these days
it's still long. Yeah, 3 hours is still a decent amount of time.
Don't do that much anymore though.
No, I don't know about you, but like I've got other stuff I need to do, like also sleep. So you do these long live streams. What makes you decide to go in and do a live stream, but not just do one, but just hang out longer and longer and longer? Because you sort of don't go into it at the start going, okay, this one's going for 3 hours. You kind of sit there and you sort of, it progressively gets longer. What makes you stay the course?
Well, these days, it really just depends on the guest that I have. Sometimes I'm having such a good conversation with the guest that the live stream will stretch out to 2 to 3 hours. But when it generally, when it's just me, I'm usually only going for maybe an hour, hour and a half top. But when I have guests, sometimes they could go longer.
Yeah. What I don't know how to word this. What makes a good guest, like for you? What makes it a fun chat?
It's hard to answer. I mean, some people you just have natural rapport with, and you can have a conversation about pretty much anything and everything. Some people have more specialized subjects that they could talk about more than other things. So, I mean, I think that's more on the host to be able to get more out of their guests than the guest. Now there are going to be some guests that are kind of tight, and no matter what you do as a host, you're not going to be able to get much out of them. But I think a good host can usually figure out a way to get the most out of their guests and make the conversation engaging for both the host and the audience.
Yeah. It's definitely a skill I'm trying to learn. And practice. Practicing.
It's not easy, but like you said, practice, you'll get it.
Yeah. Eventually we'll get there. So you go live. You're used to going live. What's your go-to software for going live?
Oh, you already know we use StreamYard. Come on now.
Yeah. Well, I have to, I know I use Stream. Like we know, but
you know what we use, Chantel.
I have to ask the questions. I realized that the cutest photos of my dog all have my StreamYard pillow in the background, and it's just like I could totally post those. Like Louis approved StreamYard. So like we're StreamYard fans. What is it particularly about StreamYard that makes you just go, look, just StreamYard?
Well, it's funny because back in 2019, Google abandoned Google Hangouts, so we needed a new service that could allow you to bring in guests. And StreamYard was there to the rescue. They had this service. They made it easy to bring in guests, and they've been adding it and making it better year over year. So between the easy ability,
it feels like week over week, nearly.
Yeah. So between the ability to bring in guests, the ability to highlight comments during the live stream, and just other different things that StreamYard has done over the years, they are definitely my primary live streaming program of choice.
Yeah, so I've trialed a few, quite a few, and I've got some reviews coming up of a few, not all of them, but I just find StreamYard's just, I sound so silly, but it's just easy.
Yep.
It just takes the stress, and this is the thing, I don't know if it's just because I'm used to it, and the others I'm like, okay, where's this function and where's this? It could totally be just that I'm not used to them, but I just find that it's logical. And it's just easy for the most part.
And the other thing, it's not about ease of use for you as the host. It's about ease of use for your guests. You literally gave me a link tonight. I clicked the link and I'm in here. And that is so crucial when you're trying to have guests on there. They don't want to mess around with no software or doing this, that, and the other. You just need to get them in there.
Please download this to your system, and then you can join the chat.
Ain't nobody got time for that. Nobody got time.
No one wants to download random stuff to their computer that they haven't had time to research.
No, they don't.
Not no one clever. So like I love StreamYard. StreamYard's great. Like that, StreamYard, if you ever want to sponsor these, just give me a yell. So hello, Louis outside making noises. I should pre-warn you, Vyyyper. I'm in my house, and so I have my little dog running around, and I'm expecting a parcel today. Louis will announce that the parcel delivery person has entered the property.
There you go.
It's what he does. It's what he does. So I will try and jump on the mute button as fast as I can. His little dog with the yap, 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 yap. So I will try and protect your ears. So you also, like, one thing that I really noticed was when, like, you seem to just like jump on and try all the new things. Like you're probably one of the fastest people that I see trying out the new things. And I really noticed I was a little late to the Clubhouse train because I'm not an Apple user, and I had to actually go out and purchase an Apple, like I bought an iPad so that I could access a Clubhouse. What was it about Clubhouse that made you decide that you wanted to jump in?
Well, back in early 2021, Clubhouse was all the rave. That's all anybody would talk about. You couldn't not hear about Clubhouse everywhere you go on the internet. So I finally got an invitation to come in there January of last year, and I figured out really quickly what the hype was about. It was crazy because I think Clubhouse came in at the perfect time because we were all still trapped in our homes and we were all yearning for that human communication, and Clubhouse just made it so easy. You could talk to people one-to-one. You could hear voices. You could jump into different rooms about different topics, and the way Clubhouse just brought people together so easily via audio just made it an instant hit. And man, it just took off.
Yeah, Justin's right. Justin says that Clubhouse FOMO got me, and it did. I was never going to buy an Apple product. Like, you and I have discussed Apple stuff before. And then Justin was like, I'll give you an invite if you can use it.
Justin, what's up, man?
So yeah, I do get the FOMO. I'm a tech nerd who gets the FOMO all the time, and I have to try really, really hard to not succumb to the buying all the things, really. So you started a ton, well, it wasn't a ton, it felt like a ton of conversations in Clubhouse. You were modding rooms all the time, and not even just like it makes sense that you were there talking YouTube, right? But you didn't just do YouTube rooms. You became like this Clubhouse mod extraordinaire, like host of rooms. How did that happen?
I don't know. Like you said, I wasn't just in YouTube rooms. I was doing tech rooms, of course, because I do tech content. But I don't know. I've always been able to like gravitate people toward me on and off YouTube. So I'm friends with a lot of the bigger creators in the tech space and just on YouTube in general. So when I was on Clubhouse, some of those people kind of made their way to my rooms, and they kind of became events at that point. I mean, at one point I had Ajustine and Jenna in the room with the head of marketing at Xbox. We had Joanna Stern from the Wall Street Journal in the room at the time. I mean, I got crazy. So I mean, I've had Mr. Beast in my room. I even had Keemstar even find one of my rooms, which is kind of crazy. So it just took on a life of its own, and one thing led to another, and things just kind of happened.
And do you think that your sort of Clubhouse adventures? Sorry, that's a show here in Australia. It's Mickey's Clubhouse Adventures. Anyway, do you think that those sort of Clubhouse discussions sort of paved the way for you to start at VidIQ?
Oh, they literally led directly to my starting at VidIQ, because one day I was in a Clubhouse room with Rob Sandy, who is the CEO at VidIQ, and he actually sent me a direct message one day, wanting to let me know that he was enjoying the conversation that I was having, and he wanted to link up with me directly. We never really linked up per se, but I did get an email from a senior executive at VidIQ a month later, invited me to host rooms for them on the platform. So I did that. We did that brand deal. I agreed to do it for a year. They paid me X amount of money for a year to host a room once a week. So I was doing that for 4 months. And then 4 months into that contract, I got an email again from the senior exec, and they were like, "Hey, Vyyyper, we want to bring you on to VidIQ full time." So we worked that all out, and now here I am working full time for VidIQ, and I've been there since September of last year.
That's awesome, because it's like, for some, like, different people have different YouTube dreams. Was working for one of the big sort of creator-based companies a YouTube dream of yours, or did it come out of left field?
Kind of came out of left field. I'm not complaining about it because it's the best job I've ever had and the most fun I've ever had, but it was not something that I aspired to. I was on YouTube to try to get my own channel to grow. But through my other dealings on YouTube and Clubhouse, one thing led to another. It kind of led me to VidIQ. But again, I'm not complaining. This is the best job I've ever had. So I'm having fun doing it every day, but
and you
definitely
still get to make your own content as well. Like
yeah,
you
yeah,
won't,
and I still get to make my own content. Yep.
Yeah, because sometimes that's the catch, isn't it? With some deals and some agreements that people like employment agreements, is that like, yes, you can come and start working for us. However, you'll need to stop your competitive channel.
Yeah, I guess I got lucky because my tech channel is not competing with VIDIQ, so yeah.
That's probably very valid. Yeah. So wow. So you've been. I can't believe it's been since September last year.
Yeah. Well, so I was working with them since April of last year for the brand deal, but actually being a full-time employee, it's been since September, almost a year now. Crazy how time flies.
It is. It's just aside. Do you find that since COVID, your tracking of time is just totally screwed up? Like you think, oh yeah, I did that last year, and then you have to think about it. No, that was 3 years ago.
No, but I feel like the days are just like falling on top of each other though. Like things like
really?
It's always the weekend, and then it's always Monday again, and we just repeat the cycle, and it keeps happening faster and faster. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I was talking to my husband about that, and I'm like, is it an age thing or is it our current world thing? And he thinks it's an age thing.
Probably.
He thinks that as we get a little bit older, that like when we're young, sorry, total derail. When we're young, our perception is that it's like, like a month is, when we're 15 years old, that's like 1 month is quite a large chunk of time. But when you're in your mid 40s, a month isn't that large a chunk of time compared to your lifespan. So anyway, deep and philosophical for our chat here. We have questions in the chat for you. One from Justin. We'll start with that one. Justin would love to know what tech Vyyyper is most excited about right now.
Ooh, what tech is Vyyyper most excited about right now? Well, I guess I can cheat because the headphones I'm wearing just came out, I think, a week ago. And these are amazing. These are the Sony WH-1000 XM5, their newest noise canceling headphones. They're very nice. They changed the design. They added some different drivers and noise canceling features in there. So I'm definitely enjoying them. And they are comfortable. They're probably the most comfortable headphones I've ever worn in my life. So these have me pretty excited at the moment.
So I have a question because you're a Mac boy. You've got the iPod. What are they called? The big headphones from Apple.
Oh, the AirPods Max, yes.
Yeah. How do they compare?
These are actually better. The AirPods Max obviously work better with Apple products, but these are the overall better headphones.
So I've got the XM4s, right? Like the Sony XM4s, and I noticed you're wired in there.
Yes.
Is that new, or can I do those with my XM4s?
You can do that with your XM4s. Yeah.
I feel so dumb. I actually usually prefer them non-wired. I sleep in them basically. That's what happens. Noise cancelling.
But when you're on things like this, I got to plug up because we were not.
I always hardwire in. Don't Bluetooth for a live stream.
Yep.
So yeah, it's like I don't do it because I don't like the risk of something happening, like batteries failing, whatever. But also sometimes there's additional noise. Like what is your reason for always making sure you plug up for your live streams?
I don't want any lag or latency between the Bluetooth and the computer or whatnot. So I always make sure to plug up so everything is just direct one-to-one connection.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's something really important for everybody. Like, because we have a lot of people who've never live streamed before who come into these chats. So sometimes just like a little tip like that is gold. So we've got another question. It's from Russell from Florida Manufactured Home Living. What camera does Vyyyper use to make his YouTube videos? Sorry, Russell, I can't read this morning apparently.
So back in October, I think the camera came out. I picked up the new Sony A7 IV. So that is the one I'm using right now to stream, and that is the one I use to record all my YouTube videos. It is an amazing camera.
It looks fantastic. I'm just like dropping everything down so we can check out the full image you've got there. What makes you go with the Sony? Like, I know why I go with Sony. What makes you go with Sony?
I blame my Justine, to be honest with you. It's not Justine's fault. Back 3 years ago when she was using
I blame Nick Niman, but anyway.
I blame my Justine. Because 3 years ago she was using the A7 III and her footage was looking so good. So I got the A7 III like 2.5 years ago, whatever. And I've just been in love with Sony cameras ever since I used the A7 III. It was an amazing camera. And I'm like, you know what? when the next one comes out, I'm getting the next one. So the next one came out, and here we are.
Wow. And do you like, because, you know, the big discussion around gear and, you know, like some people, like there's varying camps for live streaming. So obviously you and I like a decent camera and decent audio for our live streaming. And like, just to put it out there, that is not necessary. Don't let that be your barrier to entry. You can totally live stream with your mobile and some earbuds. Like, you can totally do it. But do you feel the need, like the A7 IV came out, how fast did you jump from your A7 III to the A7 IV?
Oh, I had the A7 IV on pre-order.
Oh, okay, right. It was like, woohoo, it's here. Mine.
Yeah. But like you said, you don't need, like, this is cheating. This is complete overkill for live streaming. You can live stream with regular webcam. You can live stream with your computer webcam. Although no, I wouldn't do that for a MacBook, but most other regular webcams.
I was gonna say, not all webcams are created equal.
Yeah, not all. No, they're definitely not. But you do not need a $3,000 camera to live stream. You don't do that. But yeah. But obviously, since I'm using it, I might as well use it for all the things. So here we are.
If it's set up, and that's how I feel as well. So with my setup here, I just have my one camera. Well, I have three, but that particular camera is on, and it's just there all the time. So it's literally flick a switch, turn it on. So it's live streaming, it's Zoom calls, it's like whatever I need a camera for, that's the camera. And I figure that then that way I'm getting value for money, and it's already set up, and there's no excuse not to do something because you don't have to set it up because it's there.
Yes, that is so important as a creator to have equipment set up already and have a dedicated spot in your house or your studio or wherever you are that you could just turn on the camera and turn on whatever audio device you're using and go. So important.
Yeah, because it's look, Vyyyper, tell me if I'm off here. Are there days where you're just like, man, I don't want to make a video today, and it's like any excuse becomes the reason to not make it?
Oh, absolutely. I think we all go through that at one point or another.
And what do you do to like flick those excuses? Like, okay, no, let's make this video.
I mean, if it's something that I know I'm really gonna have fun making, or something I need to get done, I just do it. Or sometimes you just have to force yourself to do it anyway, because once you start the process, then you start realizing why you enjoy it so much and you do it. But I have always told myself from day one, if I ever am at a point where I just don't feel like making a video, I'm not going to force myself. I will take that day off and I will come back tomorrow. Because if I put myself into a video that I'm not 100% passionate about, that's not doing my audience any service, because I'm Vyyyper. You know, Vyyyper cannot come and be like,
you got to get that energy level. Like,
we're going to make another video. Like, no, hell no. My audience be like, wait, who are you? They'd be like, it's an invasion of the body.
It's like there's a doppelganger. Vyyyper, your account's been hacked.
Who sent you? Get them out of here. So yeah, if I'm not feeling it, I'm not making the video.
Yeah, no, that makes total sense, because sometimes you do just need to have that reset and refresh. So do you ever get to the point where, like, I know that I go through these phases myself, but do you ever get to the point where you've realized, okay, I've actually given myself a couple of days off and I need to sort out the problem and go? Do you have like a way to just, like, what's your way to reset, really, is what I'm asking?
I play video games. I just watch television shows and movies, or exclusive for you, I could be the MC of this summer for the second year in a row, which I was just asked to do. So I can do that too. So yeah.
Have you got it again?
Daryl E just DM me and asked me, "Dude, I want to do it again." I'm like, absolutely, yes.
It's like, no, sorry. I'm booked.
That's not information I'm going to make public, because I know he likes to keep that stuff under the bed. But since we're only like 4 people here, I'll let y'all know. Looks like Vyyyper is going to be the MC again for the second year in a row.
Oh, so congratulations. That is so awesome.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. That is so cool. I'm like legit excited that you're going to be there again.
Oh yes.
Wow. And wow. I'm just like, the chat just moved and my brain's like, keep going, Chantel. Keep asking the questions. So Florida Home Living has got a tech question. So the Samsung S22 or the iPhone 13 Pro Max for best camera, which one are you?
Oh, that's a good question, but the iPhone has the best camera, definitely.
Yeah.
The Samsung has shutter lag, which means that when you go to take a picture, you might not get the shot that you think you're getting, because the shutter takes so long to like open up. Whereas iPhone, the moment you hit that button, bam, 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 you are getting the shot that you think you're going to get. So,
and is that the same for video as well? Like, because
Video,
shutter's a bit different for video.
I think video, they're a little bit more even, but I would still say probably the iPhone has better video, in my opinion, at least on the back camera.
Yeah. And so you would recommend back camera over front camera for most users?
I mean, it depends on what you're doing. I mean, I use the front camera a lot for things that I do. But if you're like doing B-roll for video, then I use the back camera. And yeah, that's where iPhone definitely going to win on that one.
Yeah, yeah. And this is not just because you're an iPhone fanboy. No, I'm teasing. I'm teasing. You know, I'm teasing. A really great place that I would check out.
You're not gonna come on here and call me an iPhone fanboy when I got iPhone and Android in my hand right now. You're not gonna do that, Chantel. You're not gonna do that to Vyyyper. No, absolutely not. Y'all see the evidence, right? I got physical evidence.
I believe I just did.
In one hand, I have an iPhone, and in the other hand, I have a Samsung. So you're not gonna come here and do that. You're not doing that to me. No.
So speaking of, like, you know, going both ways with the Android versus iPhone, do you find that as a creator it's a good idea to have like access to both?
Yeah, absolutely, especially if you're going to be talking about both. How would you feel if somebody tried to talk to you about let's say what you got back there? You got podcaster or something you got back there, or whatever it is, that teleprompter thing you got back there. How would you feel if somebody tried to tell you about it and you never used it?
Yeah.
How would you no, it doesn't work. You need to use everything if you're gonna have an opinion about something. You can't say Android sucks without having ever used Android, because then your opinion doesn't matter because you never used it. So yes, I personally think it's very important as a tech person to have, even if you don't own an iPhone or you don't own an Android, at least have some experience with the other things so you can know of what you can speak.
Yeah, yeah. And try to it's harder, especially if you don't want to have two phones, but try to make sure that they're of the equivalent age as well. Like, don't be comparing a 10-year-old iPhone to a current model Android. Like, you've got to sort of try and keep them balanced so that you're getting apples for apples, not apples for pistachios. So, yeah. I'm sorry, I get distracted every time you get really passionate about something, and I love that about you. I love like all your content, because like you can definitely see when something just lights your fire, because you just go off. There's no like holding it in. You're just like boom. And I see that across all of your content, and I absolutely think that that's a skill. Is that Vyyyper the person, or is that Vyyyper the creator?
Both. I am genuinely passionate about technology. Like, I love getting new iPhones. I love getting new Samsungs. I love getting new cameras. I love getting new MacBook I have. I love technology. So I am showing you my genuine passion for what I love across on camera. Now I might turn it up a tad bit for camera, because you don't want to come in here all bland. It's YouTube. You got to turn. I think every YouTube creator turns it up just a little bit, because you can't be coming on camera all like, hello, how you guys doing? I'm Vyyyper. Nobody wants to listen to that and watch that. So no, we all turn it up a little bit.
I think so. I think sometimes I start slower and then sort of like warm up, and I should probably do something to make sure that doesn't happen. We got NYC Prince is in the house. He was messaging me this week. Is like, are we going to be talking about pineapples and Pepsi? I
don't know. You don't want to talk to me about that. You don't want. We do not want to have this conversation right now. We don't want to do that.
We disagree. Let's just go with we're in different camps.
Yes, definitely different camps. Absolutely.
We were talking about it a little bit in my live stream yesterday on my other channel about your passion for Pepsi and my description of what I think Pepsi tastes like.
I love me some Pepsi. I'm trying to step away. I'm trying to get a little bit more healthier, so I'm trying to step away from Pepsi a little bit. So we'll see how that goes.
Oh, really? Like you know how I feel about Pepsi, but it's also one of those things where if you're used to having it fairly regularly, how hard are you finding it not having it all the time?
It sucks, because I'm trying to drink more water, and water is just
boring,
yes. But I'm trying hard.
She says as she sips her water.
Yeah, I mean, I had some in here, but I need to refill it. But yeah, water is very boring. I'm trying my hardest.
Do you know what? Like, I don't know if this will help you or not. I'm just sorry, everybody. We're just having a convo because we do that. I have a soda stream. You know, the thing that aerates your water for you. And sometimes, like, because, you know, you just use bottled water and attach it, and it carbonizes your water. So you get the bubbles.
Oh, fancy.
But you still get the water.
Fancy. Okay, interesting.
Yeah. And, like, I don't know what they like cost in the US, but I can pick one up here for $50 with a canister in it that lasts me 6 months. So
interesting. Okay.
Yeah. And so, you know, you may or may not like it. But it could be a way to sort of, some days you just need. I found that I didn't need the sugar. I wanted the bubbles. I was missing the bubbles. So I got the bubbles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But drinking soft drinks all the time is bad for your gut. Let's just throw that in there. Not medical professionals. But sometimes your taste buds want what your taste buds want.
Yes, I agree. I definitely agree.
Yeah. And mine like pineapple. But anyway, Florida Manufacturing Home Living is coming out with all the cracking questions today. Vyyyper has some great lighting there. Have you got any tips or recommendations? Because like Vyyyper, you don't wear reading glasses, but you always have your sunglasses on.
Yeah, so right above my right shoulder here, I have a Godox SL60. So this is one of those big dome soft lights, and I have that lighting up most of my room. And then I have my regular room light above, but it's not like above halfway because it's a Philips Hue light, so I can like change the level. So I think I have like a 60% right now, but yeah, I have the soft box over here. So yeah, they work very well.
And so you just have the two lights, like you don't have any other.
Nope, that is it.
Wow, that's awesome. I've actually heard a few people talking about the Godox. They're like they're fairly inexpensive for what they are.
Yeah, and they work well. I think I've had this light for what, I think two years now, and it's been doing a thing.
Yep, Andrew Can is another massive Godox fan.
Yeah. So, you got Aperture, but Aperture is like premium price.
Aperture are great, but they're really expensive and probably a bit of overkill for like little home studios.
Godox is definitely a more cost-effective option, and it's pretty good.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you can check those out, Russell. Check out Godox. And what you have the do you put the big
the grid? Yes.
Do you have the round or the square?
Oh, I have a round one, round thingy.
Yep, and you use the black grid over it as well.
Grid, yep, I got the grid over it.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Just to give Russell all the information.
Yep. Actually.
So and the Godox, are they remote controllable, or have they got a control system on the back of them?
They do have a control system on the back, but I don't think they have a remote control as well.
Okay.
So you can do that. All right, let me see how well this works. Might not work as well, but that
is
what it looks like.
Big. Hang on, there we go. Okay. Oh, that looks awesome. Yeah.
Yep.
There we go. There's probably I should edit, like I should be putting you in solo layout, not make you look big. So I should, use the words. I'm like make Vyyyper big. My brain's just like click on the thing to make Vyyyper big. I use all the technical terms here, Vyyyper. I try. I'm that person who learnt tech. Or learn about gear because I needed to use it. It wasn't because I initially had a passion for it. My background is theatre lighting and accounting. And so it's like this weird mishmash of creativity. And now it's just like, okay, I need something that does this thing. And like searching for it and using actual search terms has taught me that, when you're searching for, keywords or searchability or whatever, that the difference between searching for something using its proper name versus what it's used for. When you're making your videos for your channel, do you tend to go more with like correct terminology or what describing someone's pain point?
Here's the thing. Most people that are watching YouTube are not going to be tech savvy as the creators that make the content or whatever subject area matter that you might be in. And they're not going to know every nuance or every little term of jargon. So it's up to us as the creator to make it more digestible for the everyday person. So that's what I try to do. Like when if I start talking about RAM and gigabytes and all that stuff, the regular non-tech person gonna be lately. Bro, what is the download that is? What are you talking about? So I have to be like, this is how much space you have on your phone. The gigabytes is how much your phone can do at one point, or how many applications can run at the same time. And I just have to explain it like that because again, if I'm start using the tech terminology, nobody can know what the hell I'm talking about. So yeah, I try to make it as easy for the person that's watching as possible.
Yeah, and I think that's cool. I notice, especially like when you're talking to not you particular, but when we're talking to professionals like doctors and lawyers and things like that, they try to label things with the correct terminology because that's what they're trained to do.
Right.
And then they wonder why their phenomenal, amazingly shot videos are not getting views, and it's because they're creating something that people are searching for. But they're searching for it differently. So we have to find that meeting point.
And see, the problem is that they're creating content for their fellow lawyers instead of people that are not lawyers.
Yeah. Because only people who know what the word is will be searching for that word.
Yes.
Sorry, I digress a lot. Have you worked this out, Vyyyper? I just jump around.
It's okay. We here. We live.
Yep, that's the thing about live is our squirrel brains sometimes latch onto the weirdest thing and go, no, I have a question on that. And if I don't ask it, I'll forget. So you've been going live a lot in like you've tried, you did Twitter Spaces, you've got Clubhouse, you've got VypLive. What's your favorite place to go live?
YouTube, probably.
Yeah.
That's where my community is. I have a whole dedicated YouTube channel to going live, and that's where my audience is. So that's why I like going live. As you know, I go live every Friday night on YouTube, and I've been doing that for almost 4 years now. So yeah, I would say YouTube is definitely my favorite place to go live. Absolutely.
And especially with softwares like StreamYard and Restream and Melon and all the others that do multi-streaming, how do you feel about, like, what's your opinion on multi-streaming? Do you still stream to a single location or do you multi-stream?
Yeah, I only stream the YouTube. Now, I have done the multi-streaming thing before. I don't know, I kind of feel like when you do that, you're kind of like dividing your attention between the platforms, and that might not always make for the best viewer experience. So it is, in my opinion, that it's easier and much more better to the viewer if I'm live streaming to one platform at a time. Now, that's not to say that there aren't successful creators out there who are multi-streaming, because there are, and they're doing great.
They have communities in all the places.
Right.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, I only need to be streaming to YouTube. So that's what I do.
That's what you do. Oh, my brain just totally fried then. So with the not multi-streaming, because for me, I found that when I was multi-streaming, because I have a Facebook group as well. So I tried multi-streaming into the Facebook group as well as YouTube. And I just found that the community realized I was answering questions they couldn't see. And because like if a question came on from Facebook, they realized, oh, hang on a second, I'm missing part of the conversation here.
Right. And
I think it fractures your community.
Yeah, that's what I was alluding to when I'm saying that doesn't make for the best viewing experience, because if they can't see where the questions are coming from, then it makes a disjointed viewing experience. And do you really want to create that for your viewer?
Yeah. And like, obviously we started chatting because I'm in your community and I harass you in the chat. That's basically what I do. I go into people's chats and troll them. I'm such a good friend. But how often, like, do you notice that when you're live streaming and you're realizing that the chat are talking to each other, they're not actually like talking to you as such? And how do you feel about that?
Oh, that happens a lot with me, because sometimes I go off on a tangent, and when I'm off on my tangent, I'm in my zone. So if I'm in my zone, I'm not really paying attention to the chat too much. So they got to talk to themselves. They don't have a choice.
It's like, you are on your own. I'm over here.
Until I get off my soapbox, you are on your own. You understand the time and do what you got to do.
Do you find that, like, as people get to know you more, they know what triggers something that makes Vyyyper, like, explode, and they just do it? Like, they're like, and it's been a while since Vyyyper's lost it, so
yeah, I mean, you got Vyyyper out here being memed every now and then. People will just say stuff like, they'll say that Coke is better than Pepsi. I'm like, what? They'll say something like that. So yeah, you got to watch out for the people are savage out there. Savage out here, y'all. Y'all savage.
Yeah, they are. I know that my live streaming community on Vyyyper, they're keeping a list. There's a list of things that will set me off. And someone will be like, number 14. And then all of a sudden, everybody, so they have a list that they're keeping. And
they know. But it's all part of the fun, though, man. I mean,
it is.
If your chat is not trying to get you, and they're not enjoying themselves. So
yeah, you've got to build a community, and that, I think for me, I find that that's the best part of live streaming is the community that comes, and it comes slowly. Like, you can't expect, even for people with large channels, when they haven't live streamed. Like, I know, there's a creator that I know that has over 1 million people in as their subscribers, but when they go live, they only get a couple of hundred people in their lives. And it's not because they don't go live very often. It's more just questions directed at the viewer. It's not so much a community conversation yet. What would be your way or your suggestion to change people from being just in the chat asking their own questions to actually becoming a cohesive community?
You gotta talk to them. I mean, you, the creator, have to talk to them. You have to talk to everybody in the community, ask them how they're doing, figure out what's going on with them in their lives, and naturally they'll begin to talk to each other. That's the cool thing when they all know each other and they talk to people, they talk to each other outside of YouTube and the live chat and different things like that. So the cool thing, and I'm pretty sure you've experienced this, is when you schedule a live stream on YouTube, right? So it's up, the stream is up and it's scheduled, but it's not live yet. But when you, the creator, get there, you know that people are already waiting for you in the chat, talking with each other. That is when you know you have something special going on. And that is the unique thing when you as a creator can see that people are waiting for you and talking to each other in the chat, waiting for you to go live.
Yeah, because you know they haven't received the YouTube notification because it hasn't gone out yet because you're not live. They're there because they know that at this time.
Right. But sometimes, half an hour before the stream goes live, they do get that notification. So if they,
do they?
Yeah. YouTube sends out a notification half an hour before a live stream starts. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I knew that if people had clicked the remind me, they got the reminder. But if they hadn't, I didn't realize they got anything.
Yep.
Oh, I've learned a thing. That's cool. I like that because it's frustrating when people don't get notified till 5 minutes before a 2-hour live stream is over. Because that also happens. Florida Manufactured Home Living has another question. Do either of you have a second computer set up and ready to switch to in the event of a failure?
What? I have a work computer. But other than that, no. I mean, I have my iPad that I can always use in case of emergency. But no, I don't really have a second computer per se.
One thing I love about StreamYard is the stream stays open. So as long as I can just jump onto my phone and just join into the stream as I'll disappear and it'll just be the background. But if you just wait, then I can bring in a second camera. I do have a second laptop that I can use because with StreamYard, you don't need a beast to run it. You can do it from a phone. You can do it from an iPad. You don't need a U-Butte supercomputer to make StreamYard work. So you don't need anything crazy good. When it comes to video editing stuff, I only have one that can handle with the video editing. So, yeah. I got my notification of this live as you went live. There you go. Well, at least it came out as we went live, not as we were finishing up. My Sea Princess show Vyyyper the ball of wool. Yesterday, I had a ball of wool arrive. Here you go. I'll show you. It's quite large. There we go.
How big is your cat? You got a big cat over there?
I'm making a blanket. Oh. And so this is one of two of these because I ran out. So there you go.
Big cat over. You got a tiger over there, don't you?
I do. I have quite a large lion and he likes yarn, also cardboard boxes. So yeah, no, it was insane. Actually, I was, when you order something and you know what it's going to be, you know the specs of it, and then you get it and you're like, that's different than what I was expecting. Mm-hmm. That's kind of how I felt about that yarn. I knew I was ordering a 10-pound ball of yarn, but I didn't expect it to be quite so big.
Yeah, what you bargained for on that one?
No idea. So you've got this really fun, great live community, for your live streams over on VypLive. And I don't get to hang out as much as I want just because of time zones. That's really all it boils down to. How do you deal with people missing out for time zones? Do you create your lives for the replay or do you focus on who's there?
Yeah, I'm pretty bad at making them replayable per se. I mean, people still go back and watch a replay because they never know when I'm gonna go off the handle or whatever. But yeah, I mean,
get that clip feature going.
It's hard though because no matter what time I go live, somebody's gonna miss out. So
yeah.
At that point, I just have to do what's for me. And what's for me on Friday nights is that time. And I've been doing it at the same time for almost 4 years now. So people are used to it. They know what time I'm going live and they expect it. So I just stick with what works.
And you've also now got your regular Coffee with Vyyyper session over on Clubhouse.
Yeah, we have coffee talk every morning. Yep.
And what time is that for you?
10 a.m. Eastern here.
Yeah. And that's every morning that you do that over there?
Every weekday morning, yes.
Oh, wow. I thought it was once a week for some reason. I always miss it, but it's because it's midnight for me. Right.
Understandable.
Yeah. And, I I would like to be up at midnight, but I have to be up at 6. So I can't do both every night. Because Clubhouse changed, right? Like we all know it. There was a point where Clubhouse was on fire and it was fantastic. And I was just like, my ears were hurting from being in earphones all the time. And it was just because everything was amazing. And I wanted to listen to all the conversations. And then there was a point where it just went, and it's not bad. Like I still use it, but I don't have the same, like, there just seems to be different conversations. Did you notice that as well?
I don't know. I mean, obviously Clubhouse is not jumping as it was last year.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I can say the conversations have changed. I think that less people are using the platform. I mean, heck, if you go on Twitter, they got a lot of people talking about how Clubhouse is dead, even though we know that's a bunch of baloney.
Yeah,
but
it's not dead.
It's not dead. But yeah, I think less people are using it, and there are other platforms out there now like Twitter Spaces. Spotify has their own version now. I think LinkedIn has their own version. So there's a lot more competition these days. So Clubhouse, the fan base, the user base is now being diluted across all the different platforms. So it's not as popping as it was last year, but it's still, I think it's still the best audio platform out there to go to because it's the most stable one.
Sorry.
We have a package. We have a package. Package, baby. You know what? That's probably the best delivery alert system of all time because that way those parcel carriers cannot lie and say they delivered when they know they didn't. Because the dog ain't having it, man. If you pull up to the house, the dog is gonna tell you, like, listen, you're here. We not see you. So you got it going on over there. That's what's up. We need some more of those over here in the US so FedEx can't lie all the time. I'm just saying.
Oh, but Joe's really sad. He doesn't do it when there's no one home. So he only barks when someone comes in if there's someone home. So I was like, Mom, there's someone here.
There you go.
Because I've checked with the neighbors. I'm like, does he just go off all day? And they're like, never. We don't hear him unless one of the cars is there. I'm just like, oh, I mean, cool. I'm glad, but oh. But yeah, great. So I would say his car seats arrived.
See,
my husband ordered him a car seat for the car.
That's why he's happy because he knew he had goodies in the mail. See, he wants you to go get those immediately. Okay, you got to go get that pack.
Yeah, he's like, get out there and bring me my car seat and let's go. But he gets car sick, so we're trying all the things because we want to take him places because he's cute and adorable and he loves the beach, but he really doesn't cope with the car trip. NYC back to the topic. NYC Prince is asking, is Clubhouse audio only, and where is it?
Yeah, Clubhouse is an audio only platform. Think of it like a conference where you can go when you go to a conference. They have like different rooms and keynotes and discussions that you can have. Well, Clubhouse is literally a virtual version of a conference. There's a bunch of different rooms that you can go to. You can listen to different talks or different conversations about an arrangement of topics, and it's
like
going
every
24
topic.
hours about everything.
Yeah.
It's going 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's now available for iOS and Android and on a computer, I think, as well, via app called Club Deck. So, yeah, you have access to pretty much anywhere you can get access to it. So it's pretty popular. Yeah. Like I said, it's still the #1 audio only platform out there, in my opinion. It is. I mean, when as the thing was happening with Ukraine, they literally had a room open talking about Ukraine, and that room was open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And over 1 million people passed through that room talking about the things that were happening over in Ukraine. And anytime something major happens in the world, like this Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial over here in the US, I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of chat on Clubhouse going on about it right now. So it's really the audio version of Twitter, really what it comes down to.
Yeah, and one of the advantages is, like you said, it's like going to a conference, because if you're in the audience and you have a question, you can raise your hand, and depending on the kind of discussion that's going on and the kind of, they will allow you the microphone to say your piece and to ask your question, and you will get responded to usually. Obviously, that's going to depend on the room, on the size of the room, and what kind of content they're rolling. But if say like Justin Brown's in a room, and you've got a question, and someone else has got, because it's still a green bean, right? They've got the green bean moderator tool.
Yep.
and they bring you up, you can ask the question and Justin will answer your question. Like it's one of those things. And I really love, especially during like you said, it was really big last year, and that was when there was a lot less human contact going on, and actually being able to ask someone a question directly with your voice and hear their voice respond to you. It was it's I think it's better than Twitter in that regard.
Yeah, there's definitely more of a bonding going on when you're talking to somebody one-to-one and you can actually hear their voice. Yeah,
because like, not to diss on Twitter, because I love Twitter as well, but reading tone is hard, and whether it's an email, whether it's Twitter, whether it's a comment in a YouTube thread, reading tone is difficult. But when you are listening to someone speak, you hear it, you know, instantly, and there's no ambiguity. So I love that about Clubhouse. Why are you still doing the coffee clutch every morning?
Oh, the coffee talk room has become its own community. So because it's become its own community, I mean, if I don't do it, there's gonna be people looking for my head. So
it's like, where's Vyyyper on Twitter?
It happens. So
hashtag cancel Vyyyper.
It kind of just grew into its own community. So because it's grown into its own community, it's just something that took on a life of its own. And yeah, I've been doing it every day. I think I've been doing it now for over a year. So yeah.
Wow, that's full on. So what do you do, like when you are like on a holiday or taking a break or whatever, and you're the expectation is for you to be in that room at that time? Do you plan it into your trip away or your holiday, or do you just let people know, hey, I'm not going to be here for this week?
Absolutely not. No, hell no. If I'm on vacation, I'm on vacation. Like I got 2 weeks vacation coming up here soon. I'm probably gonna take at least 1 week off from Clubhouse. Like I'm like, listen, y'all, I'm on vacation, so y'all got to do it yourselves, or it's not gonna happen, because the community is such that they can host their own rooms and they'll get together by themselves and they'll do their own thing without me. So that's pretty cool.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, when I'm on vacation, I'm on vacation.
NYC Prince is asking if it's live only. It used to be, but it's not now.
No, they do have replays now. So if you miss a room, you can go back and watch the replays if the host of the room enabled them.
Enables it. That's right.
Yeah, they have to enable
them. On the room.
Most do, but sometimes they don't. But yeah, it's mostly replays for now. So.
Yeah. So Timeless Jump RV Russie says that's what makes life so amazing, interacting with the YouTube creator or the Clubhouse creator or wherever you are. But
absolutely.
Yes,
definitely.
I agree. So I love that you take a break, right? Like there's so many people that are like, no, you got to keep grinding. If you take a break, your channel's going to die. But if you don't take a break, then you're going to, I mean, not necessarily die, but you're going to suffer for that. So what is your opinion on, like, do you batch record and have stuff ready to drop while you're away, or do you just take a break?
It really depends. I have batch recorded in the past and had stuff drop when I was away. Nowadays, I mean, it depends on what season are we in. If we're in like heavy tech season, then I'll probably batch record stuff. But if we're in like lull period, I'll just take a break.
Yeah. I like that.
It really just
balance. Being a human and having balance.
You got to. There's so much talk about mental health, but and how YouTube doesn't really encourage it as far as taking a break from your channel. But that's not YouTube's job, in my opinion. Your YouTube channel is your own entity. It is your company. You have to run that as you see fit. It is not up to YouTube to tell you how to run your channel and when to take breaks. But you have to know that if you're going to take a break from your channel, it's going to suffer unless you plan accordingly. So I think you just have to plan accordingly.
Yeah. And I think I like how you worded that. It's your business.
Yeah.
Like the number of, like, I read a lot of comments. I work across a few different areas, and I read a lot of different comments where people blame YouTube for different things. And it's just like, but that's your job. That's not YouTube's job. YouTube are hosting your videos for free. Like, I'm at the age where I remember paying to host things. And it was not cheap. Like, you were like, oh no, I'm definitely not going to host that one because money. But like, YouTube does so much for free. They don't charge you. There's no cost to you. And when you're starting out a business, more often than not, the hurdle to entry is all the different costs. And YouTube has a zero cost entry barrier, but you have to build your own audience. And So how, like, what is your opinion? Like, have you seen people talk about along those lines? Like, YouTuber holding me back, YouTuber doing this?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's usually smaller creators because they feel like they're not getting any traction, and I've been guilty of this in the past myself.
Look, I think every small creator has said those words at the start at some stage.
But ultimately, at the end of the day, you get out what you put in with YouTube, in my opinion. If you put in the work and you put in the grind and you make content on a consistent basis, you will reap the rewards. I am living proof of that. I was literally able, as of making YouTube content for 4 years, to change job. Whole job I changed because I started a YouTube channel and I consistently uploaded content and got involved. So I went from a corporate 9-to-5 job to now a job where I'm salary and I pretty much work my own hours and make a lot more money than I was making back in my corporate 9-to-5 job, all because I did YouTube for 4 years and I put myself in a position to be noticed. So you can make these changes. It's nothing special about Vyyyper. It's basically up to what you, the individual, want to do.
There's something special about the energy of Vyyyper. I do.
Right, and I appreciate you. But what I'm saying is that if I can do it, anybody in the chat can do it. It's just how bad do you want it.
So a lot of these, there's a mix of people that have met you before and haven't met you before. Vyyyper, do you have a massive channel of hundreds of thousands of subscribers? Is that where all this is coming from?
No, Vyyyper does not. No.
See, and that's the thing. A lot of people feel that they need these subscribers to do the important things. How many, if you don't mind me asking and tell me to shut up, how many subscribers did you have when you started interviewing like some of those amazing people like MKBHD? No, MKHD.
Wow.
And iJustine and all these, like, building these relationships with these people.
So I was like 2 years ago, so probably around about 4,000 subscribers, maybe something like that.
Yeah, not hundreds of thousands, not 50,000.
Nope. 3
or 4. And like, for me, I look at it and I see it as you made the effort to build relationships. Would you see it as the same way?
Absolutely. Because long before I became a creator, I was in their communities. I was in their YouTube comment sections. I was in their live chats. They knew of me, kind of. So when I became a creator and they kind of noticed what I was doing, it was easy for me to go and ask them to be on my podcast and interview them because they knew me. So.
Yeah. And I'm going to tell you something. The fact that you were able to do that is part of the reason that I actually send out invites for people to come and visit me on this channel, because it's a small channel. It's a new channel. And if people look at that only, they look at it and go, 100 subs, like, why would I go there? But I remember you talking in so many different chats and different groups and just building relationships. And I've been doing that for years, because like, while I talk about yarn mostly on my other channel before I started this one, I love technology. And so I was in all the technology rooms, like hanging out, being cheeky, being naughty, because that's what I do. But people were starting to get to know my name as such, like, not, you know what I mean? Like, just recognize, not knowing it, but recognizing that it was there regularly. And I think that was part of the thing, was just that confidence to not be afraid to ask, but be prepared if they say no. And generally they're very kind, but don't be afraid to ask, because people like Vyyyper will come and join you.
Like Wayne Gretzky said, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. If you don't take the shot, you'll never know. And again, speaking of not being a bigger creator or having a bigger following or sub count, I just told y'all like 20 minutes ago that I was asked for the second year in a row to be the MC at Vid Summit. I mean, we are talking about the biggest creator conference in the world.
Yeah, I was about to say, tell us a little bit about Vid Summit. Like, why we all need to be there. I know why I want to be there.
It's literally the biggest creator conference in the world. It's the Super Bowl of creator conferences. It is run by creators for creators. There's no fanfare. There's like no fans there rushing to meet their favorite creators. It's literally just a bunch of creators in the same place at the same time, giving out all the tea, giving out all the details, all the secrets, and all the goodies. It is literally ran by Daryl E. and Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast is going to be at Vid Summit because he's the co-owner of it. So I mean, we know who Mr. Beast is and how big he is on the platform. So I
don't even watch Mr. Beast's content, but I know who he is.
if the fact that Mr. Beast co-runs the conference doesn't tell you everything you need to know about that conference, I don't know what does. But Mr. Beast will be there.
So Andrew's like, I'm there rushing to meet Vyyyper. Get that selfie, Andrew. No selfie.
Hey,
it
we are
didn't
overdue.
happen.
We are way overdue. I mean, I haven't seen Andrew since 2018, so we're overdue.
Gosh. I'm just scrolling back. So we've just, like, the question that we had earlier was, new YouTube channels can't take a break. Older channels, is there a difference?
No, you take a break, you're gonna
take a
fall
break
off.
when you need one.
Yeah. The break is on you as a creator. Like, if you need to step away, you need to step away. But just understand that if you choose to step away, you're gonna lose. You might lose
A
views.
little bit of momentum.
There you go. You're gonna lose momentum. So you got when you come back, you're gonna have to work to get that momentum back. But that's just a part of life. And that's not just with YouTube. That's with most jobs and things like that. So be ready.
Yeah, I think one of the things I say pretty regularly is life before YouTube, because even though YouTube is it's our work, do you put life before work? Not usually, not if it's important. So yeah. Andrew says that YouTube doesn't hold you back. Not understanding YouTube does.
Fact.
Yeah. I agree with you 100%. NYC Princess said, I remember you saying about explaining that you were leaving your job and they seemed amazed.
I don't know who they is, but
no, me neither. I figured you might understand this one more than I did.
Yeah, who are they? I don't know who they are, but I was amazed that the opportunity came up. I was like, yeah, let's go.
And was that a hard decision for you to sort of?
No, not even. Not at all. You want to know why, Chantel? You want to know why it wasn't a hard decision? Because I was enjoying my regular job, but I was kind of leaning myself out anyway, because I was kind of getting tired of the micromanagement aspect of it and all that crap. And I'm a person that I don't like to be managed. I like to be left alone to do my job. And while I mostly was left alone at the job, there are still some elements of micromanagement and things like that kind of got on my nerves.
Always that person.
So I'm like, I'm like, and the other thing is that things were changing at that company. So I actually left at the perfect time, because I think the job is actually going away now. So I left at the perfect time. Yeah, I was ready to go anyway. And when VIDIQ told me what they wanted and they told me how much they were going to pay me, I'm like,
it's like resignation letter.
Send me the contract. I'm signing immediately. Show it to me.
That's awesome. That's so awesome. Because sometimes, like, it is, as humans, we are comfortable where we are. We're comfortable in what we're doing. But also as humans, you have to be prepared to jump. You have to just be like, grab that thing and just run. And obviously you have not regretted that decision at all.
Not even once. I just brought a car this week. When I tell you,
saw the photo. It's a cute car.
Off the lot,
it's a very cute car.
I drove off the lot and I was like the happiest I might have ever been in a while, because I just took a moment to realize that all the work I put in with all the videos I made and all the live streams I've done and everything I've done with YouTube in the past 4 years led me to being able to buy this car. And I was living it up. It was amazing.
That's awesome. We do need to make that time, like to stop every now and again and just think about the advantages. Like, it's so easy to think about the grind, think about the algorithm, planning the next video, like that side of it. It's very easy to get caught up in that. But it's for balance, just being able to just sort of sit back and just think of something good, even if it's just something small, like you met a person, or it could be score a brand, it could be buy a car. But even the small wins are so important to just remember, because it's the accumulation of small wins that gives us a big win.
I tell creators this a lot at the day job now. Celebrate your small wins. Celebrate your small wins, because they are just important as the big ones.
Yeah. Gosh, this chat's pumping a little bit. I'm just double checking because you're in there as well. So I'm just like I was like, yes, I shall bring this comment up. No, it's Vyyyper replying to somebody. NYC Prince has a question. What initially got you into YouTube? What made you decide to do this at all?
It's interesting, because I've always been interested and passionate about technology, and it was suggested to me by a friend of mine many years ago that I should start a YouTube channel, but I never really took it seriously because of all the great creators that were already on YouTube. But in 2017, I lost my mother to lung cancer, and I'm like, you know what? On the first day of the next year, I'm gonna throw my hat into the ring and start YouTube, and it has literally been the best decision I've ever made in my 41 years of existence. It's amazing.
That is awesome. And sometimes we do just need to step out of the comfort zone.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Nothing
just
will grow
try
inside.
something new, shake it up. Because the reality is, unless you do something super dramatic like quit your job, start YouTube with nothing, which I don't recommend, you've got nothing to lose. There's no downside.
I do not recommend quitting your job either unless you are making bank from YouTube.
Yeah, agreed. I was watching, who was I watching? It was probably Roberto, and because Roberto talks a lot about, you know, making the money on the YouTubes, and it was just like, don't quit your job until you've got at least a year of some money saved.
Yeah, true.
Because you're not going to make anything to start with.
Nope.
So yeah, it's one of those things, and that's also a big thing in people's brains. Like I do see people commenting on videos like, how do I monetize my channel fast? How do I you know, do this quickly? And then you look at their content and you're sort of like, you've got some things to learn here, dude. Like, I don't want to be discouraging, but you need to make something people want to watch. Sorry. I mean, I try and word it nicely, but it's basically what jumps into my head. It's just like, you've got some skills to learn.
The biggest mistake that new creators make is that they make it all about themselves. They don't think about things from the viewer perspective, and the viewer is the person that you're trying to attract. You're not trying to make video for yourself. You're not trying to attract yourself.
Or YouTube. You're not making videos for YouTube either.
You're making video for people that want to watch your content and want to keep coming back and watch your content over and over again. So that is where your focus needs to be. And when you as the creator understand and learn that what you want to do is create the best viewing experience possible, that is when the good stuff starts happening.
Yeah. When you, and I think this happens in every single part of your life, when you start thinking about how it will affect another person, that's when the magic happens. Like when you start thinking of me all the time. Why aren't people watching me? Why aren't people watching my video? But you start thinking about, what do people want to watch? Okay, I want to make a video for a person that needs help deciding which headphones to get at this price point. That's when you start to notice your traction, I think. That's my opinion. And like, you know, we're talking about videos right now. It's the same thing with live streams. Like, you guys that are in the chat right now, we are taking your time out of your day, and we need to be giving you something. Like, Vyyyper and I can just sit here and shoot the breeze like for hours. It's been done before. And and it's you know, we can just randomly go off and just start talking about anything, but we are trying to help you level up in some way, and not like in miraculous ways, but just one little, if we end the stream and it's over, and you've got one little thing that in your brain is like, do you know what, I'm going to try that. That to me is we had a win. What do you feel about that, Vyyyper?
Yeah, I mean, if we said or done anything tonight that people have resonated with or gained value from, then we have done our job here. So
yeah, I agree. Big comment here. I can't read it. I got to bring it on screen so it's big enough to read. Everyone always told me I needed to be a sports announcer, also to make YouTube videos for coaching and volleyball. Vyyyper, great advice. It's all about the audience.
It's all about what you want to do. I mean, do you want to do those things? Do you want to make volleyball videos? Do you want to be a sports announcer? Because if you don't want to be those things, then why the hell would you do that stuff on YouTube? No. You got to do stuff that you enjoy.
Yeah. And so, man, you just made this thing. Like, I saw it I was in a live chat earlier in the week, and a question that kept cropping up was people saying, I just want to make a channel that's monetized. You know, I don't care what I make. What's going to monetize the fastest?
That is the quickest way to burn out, trying to make content paid.
Yeah.
People don't understand though. They see, the problem is that they see these bigger influencers and they live these lavish lifestyles, or they show these lavish lifestyles, because a lot of times y'all don't see the stuff.
There's a difference. There's a difference between having the lifestyle and just letting people think you have the lifestyle.
Yeah. So people will see these lavish lifestyles and they want to achieve that, and they want to do anything that they can to achieve that as quickly as possible. But that's just not the reality for most creators on the platform. It's just that's like playing the lottery and winning the lottery. most creators are not doing it that big on the social network.
Yeah. And I was just thinking about it, and it's probably about the same odds. Like there's quite a few creators on YouTube. It's probably that's a lot. Claire has said that I learn something every time I watch your live stream. So thank you, Claire.
See, so
that is awesome.
If she's learning something every time she watches you, you're doing something right, Chantel. Good job.
Yeah, I think what I do is I find amazing people who know lots of good stuff, like you, Vyyyper, and just bring them on.
Don't blame me. I'm only here tonight. It's not my fault. Vyyyper didn't do it. Okay, Vyyyper did not do it.
Well, I mean, you ticked tonight's box, Vyyyper. Oh well. Claire's just popped in here. Oops, hang on, wrong one. You need to make videos you're passionate about. If you're not in love with your topic, you will fail. Your viewers will be able to see that you are not enjoying it.
The viewers,
because no one is that good an actor forever.
The audience will see what's going on. They will understand that you are not into it, and then they will go bye-bye.
Yes, because you can fake it for a few episodes, for a few videos, for sure. But can you fake it for 5 years? For 10 years? Yeah. Like real talk. You can't fake it till you make it. You need to have some passion there somewhere. And the passion can't be about your end result goal. It has to be about what you're talking about. Because everyone's passionate about $1 million in the bank. Fun guests. Yeah, Vyyyper's an awesome guest. So I'm very grateful that Vyyyper has joined us for this live today. Vyyyper, like, I've got so many questions for you. I'm looking at the clock, and I'm like, I know that it's later for you than it is for me.
Yeah, I gotta hop off in a minute, but appreciate you having me.
Yeah. Oh, I really appreciate it. So what I'm going to do is chat. If you've got one more question for Vyyyper, I will prioritize your question over mine, but get it in the chat right now. Here we go. Claire says YouTube is a long-term thing. If you want to succeed, YouTube is the long game. It is absolutely the long game.
As you were here, a lot of times as it relates to YouTube, it is a marathon, not a sprint.
Yes, it's absolutely a marathon. And we've seen the memes of what happens to marathon runners. Sorry, Vyyyper. Are you one of those visual people that I'm really not? No. Are you one of those, like, because I'm one of these people when someone says something, my brain just instantly builds the picture. Or because I also know there's people that doesn't happen to. Are you one of those people?
Not normally, no.
Oh, well, you're very lucky. It's pretty bad because brain bleach is not a thing. Okay, we've got a tip from Vyyyper. First time live streamer, scared to go live. What would be your one thing that you would say to them to encourage them?
I don't know if it's very encouraging, but sometimes you just have to jump in the deep end. You just have to do it because you will never know what it's like if you don't do it. Live streaming is not as scary and bad as you think it is. And it's like anything else. The more you do it, the more comfortable you get, the better you get, the easier it gets. But you will never know any of that if you don't start. Just like starting a channel. There's a lot of people that for whatever reason, they're afraid to start YouTube. But once they start YouTube, they get into it and they understand, okay, this is not as bad as I thought it was. I just have to do it over and over and over again. As I get more comfortable, it gets easier. And then I'm naturally comfortable with it. But yeah, you just have to do it. And if you really think about it, just think about using the live stream to do what it's intended to do, which is create that innate bond with your audience. Because that is what you should be striving for as a creator. You should be striving to create an intimate bond with your audience. And you cannot do that any better than live streaming. You can't do that via video comments on YouTube because those conversations are so fractured and jaded out. You don't know. But when you can get on live and talk to your community one-to-one in real time, there are few other things special on social media like being able to interact in a live stream with your community. Do it. You will not regret it.
That's awesome. Vyyyper, thank you so much for joining us and giving us your time today. Vyyyper's links are in the description below. Go and check out Vyyyper's content if you love, if you're into tech and you use tech. And I'm not just talking tech nerds. I'm thinking about buying headphones, that kind of tech that people are using every day. Go in and check that out. And I wrote Clubhouse because I couldn't get a link on my laptop. But if you go into Clubhouse and type Vyyyper, search for Vyyyper, you can go and follow him there and you'll be notified when his rooms open up. Go and have a listen, go and have a learn. It is so much fun. And Vyyyper just brings this energy to every single thing that he does. There's no dialing down for Vyyyper. This is it.
No, I don't know 1 feed. There's only 1 feed here, baby.
Yeah. So thank you all so much for joining us, and we will see you for the next one. Thanks so much, Vyyyper.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye.